Hi everyone, Peter Lisiaga here. I hope you guys are doing great today. Happy Sunday. And I have to be honest with you guys, I'm going to talk about mental health and depression and my struggle with it and what I've done to basically control and take control of my life. And I definitely had a challenge. Last week was a challenge for me, and so I was pretty much not on social the last couple of days, simply so I can meet the challenges that needed to be confronted, and my priorities were there. So I wanted to come on here and just share with you some of the things that I do to maintain my mental health. And if this is a subject you don't want to really delve into, I highly recommend just stop listening and just move on and enjoy the rest of your day. But like many people, I have been fighting depression and just holding on to my mental health my whole life, and it's a challenge that I've been working on, for 60 years. And at 60 years old, I could say that and confidently say that I'm, pretty much I know what to do to fight a good fight to maintain and stay positive and maintain that a healthy mindset and a healthy mental state. And it was not definitely was not like this. And I'll tell you a quick story, just give you an idea. At 14 years old, and again, I struggled with depression and a whole bunch of stuff my whole life. But when I was 14 years old, it was in a state where I was basically, isolating myself, and it was to the point where I would go to a friend's house. I had a friend that had its big home that they lived in, that they rented, and it was an old home, and it was 3 stories with a basement and an attic. So it was huge. You could basically get lost in this house, and it was almost like a group home. So they actually brought in, kids and youth from the streets, and they worked with the state so that they took care of other kids, but they would take care of me. And at 14 years old, I would go there, and the walls between the wall, there were probably about 12 to 14 inches of space between the outer wall and the interior wall. For whatever reason, I guess it was just that much space in there. So it blew my mind. So anyway, what I would do, I would come into the home, lost in the home. So I would find an access to the walls, and I would go into the wall, and I would just stay there for hours, isolate myself in the walls. And I think back to the time when I would do that. I would isolate. I would never talk. People would try to speak to me and try to pull out of me, but I always stayed quiet and silent. I really never shared how I felt, and I always felt like I was alone. And I would isolate myself, and it was very destructive for me. Did not help me, but I got through it. And there were people in my life, like this one family, that were patient with me, that really helped me. And I reflect now on back then. It was very useful and helpful. They were there for me. And so since then, I've been really learning how to understand myself, how to understand my moods, and how I think. And for me, every day was a battle, a fight. That's why martial arts for me, that's why it's not an accident. If you really get to know me, it's not an accident that I teach martial arts for a living. And martial arts, being a warrior, is something that connects with me in a very deep way, because that's how I look at at me, just really maintaining a positive, healthy mindset and really controlling, being aware of how I'm feeling on the inside, so I can really fight a good fight to maintain my mental health more often than not. And I've learned really how to unravel my confusion. And when I would go into dark places, I recognized triggers or things that would happen that would trigger an episode for me, where I would feel there was a time when something would happen, something would trigger old memory of something. I would all of a sudden I would feel depressed, and I would say to myself, well, there's nothing for me to be depressed about. And I knew something triggered it. And then I learned how to recognize those triggers and to put into place habits or things that I would do to mitigate that. This way, I would not go to this darkness, which is what used to happen. I used to go to this dark place where I would spend days there where I would lock myself away, and you would not see me for days. That's not what happened over the weekend. The reason why, you guys, I did not go on social platforms and I just dropped, there were things I was supposed to do, I just did not do, is because this was my way of healing and getting re-energized. And me coming here, speaking to you, is my way of speaking and talking it out. But I also know this, that there's one person out there that needs to hear this, and this is for you. And this is for you and for me, because we all struggle with just holding on to our mental state, especially now. I'm speaking to a lot of parents, a lot of youth. I'm sure one of us, we have a mental health, and uh, just like we all have physical health, we have mental health, and our challenge is to maintain our mental health in a very positive, empowering way. And when we go through the stresses of life, challenges of life, it will bring, like Abraham Lincoln, who struggled with depression, would call it melancholy, and he struggled with that, and it got better, but we can manage that if we are aware of it. So here's some of the things that I do just to share with you guys to help me maintain my mental health. First of all, is I always talk about the A game, right? A game is being aware of how you're feeling on the inside and assess how you're feeling on the inside. And then I choose the action, a right appropriate action that will help me mitigate how I'm feeling on the inside. This way, I can move forward in my day, in my life, in a meaningful way that's not destructive but productive. And so that's helped me out a lot. So the first thing I do in my life, and I start every day in my morning this way, is I bring meaning and purpose to my life. That I have meaning, I have purpose, and I am someone. Now, at 60 years old, it's taken me many years to get there, but I share this with you because it's important. That's what I do. That because it doesn't stop. The battle is ongoing. The moment I drop my guards and I say that I'm good, I don't need any more help, I will fool myself and I'll find myself in a very dangerous situation. So every day I have to get up in the morning and with the intention to fight a good fight, which is the second thing. Not only do I bring meaning and purpose to my life, but I also, apply this warrior spirit, this indomitable spirit and mindset that I'm going to fight a good fight. I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to have an intention. Okay. And so, but it's going to be fighting a good fight. So that's why I get up early. That's why I do what I do in the morning. Get my mind right, get that heart of a warrior right. I tap into that higher power. And then I make sure I train my body so I have the energy, my body is healthy, and I can set myself up to fight a good fight in the course of the day. And then another thing that I do is I purposefully seek out and expect to find joy in my life and peace in my life. And I look for things that I'm grateful for. And, I think of my wife and how amazing she is, my kids and how amazing they are, where I live, the work that I do, the community that I live in, and the meaningful relationships that I built with people. These things that I do, I seek them out purposefully, intentionally, and I seek out and expect to find. I will find them because I'm going to look for them. They're there. And that's what I do. As a habit I create. Then another thing, and I'll wrap it up right here, is that I always cultivate this sense of humility. That's why I will never say that I've arrived, that I can handle everything. No, I'll humble myself knowing. And remember, my wife said this to me many, many years ago that, we celebrate just 34 years a couple of months ago. But she, remember her saying this, how do you know that you won't be affected by it? That how do you know that it won't overcome you? That you won't get to that place. She's absolutely right. So I humble myself, and at the same time, adding to that, I bring faith, my core value. I believe in a higher power. I believe in God, and I bring that faith and humility into my life, and I cultivate that in my life. And then, I mentioned a couple of times that my day always starts with intention and meaning and direction. And I do my best to stay focused on that. Now, I thought I'd share this today simply because, yeah, and I wanted to do it on the social platform. So you should be seeing this, whether you see this on Facebook or on my community wall, or you're seeing it on LinkedIn or YouTube. I share it here because this helps me, because I don't want to get stuck in the stigma. just because people see me as a, you know, 6 degree master and I'm a master and I can put on a good front. I'm an actor. I can act like I'm okay. But, you know, I'm just like everyone else. You know, I have my ups and downs of life. And I wanted to put it out there that there's, you know, the stigma on mental health and struggling with depression, all that. It's gotta stop. And I see myself as a leader in my community in a very small way. But I put this out there, let you guys know that we're in this together. And then I know there's one person out there that needs to hear this, that needed to hear this today. And this is for you. And I want to say, if you're thinking about harming yourself, suicide, or you're going through this and you're worried and you're just going through a struggle, if you're thinking about suicide and are worried about a friend, or if you're worried about a friend or a loved one, you know, there are resources out there. And there's a resource right below. There's a link right below. I'll put that in just a couple of seconds there. But the number 1-800-273-8255. That's a 24-hour, 7 days a week resource. And I'll type that in right below as soon as I'm done here. I forgot to put that in. So, but it's also, the website is suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And there's a /. It says talk to someone now. And I'll put that link in right below. But again, remember, you're not alone. And this is for that one that needed to hear this. And it's for me to say it, to make sure that people know that mental health and struggling for a healthy mind is everyone's challenge. We're in this together. We're not alone. And we'll have the ups and downs, especially what's going on now. But it's not just with what's going on now, it's ongoing. Because I've struggled with depression and keeping my mental health healthy my whole life. Okay, guys. So you're not alone. And remember, you know, that there are people there that do care about you, and there are people that are trained that to listen and to help you unravel the confusion and uncover and discover, you know, how you can mitigate those states where you get into those dark times. And so anyway, God bless you all. And, you know, I just pray that you guys have the strength to reach out and connect with someone, that they will listen to you so that you know that you're not alone. All right, guys. So that's what I have for you today. Again, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to put down those resources. Just the 800 number again, 800 number for if you need to speak to someone is 1-800-273-8255. And then there is a website that I'll put down called suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And I'll put that link right below where you can talk to someone. Or if you know someone, reach out. Okay, guys. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you guys soon.